Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into podcast room 303. Wicked. Also, Revenge of the Pod. This is our 2023 year in review episode. We have with us two members of 303, two members of Revenge of the Pod, and we'll be getting into 9 categories across the board, from instances like movies, shows, podcasts, video games, albums, songs, surprise, disappointment, and sports moment. Without further ado, let me introduce everyone to you. We have Luigi Orozco at the top of the screen from Revenge of the Pod. We have Jason Escudero at the bottom of the screen from Revenge of the Pod. You have myself, Jermaine Mendez, and as always, we have with us the EPE. How are you doing this evening, Luigi?
Doing good, man. Glad to be here. I'm excited for year end. I definitely wanted to get this out to the listeners, so just excited to be here, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll explain the format here in a little bit, but let's check in with you. How are you doing this evening, Jason? It doesn't matter with your Rudy Poo candy. All right, just kidding. Go ahead.
Shut up, bitch. Doing great, dude. Doing great. Getting ready for the holidays. Going back to Texas. Hopefully, I still don't know. I haven't asked you yet, but hopefully, I might see you down there. You know.
No, it's a no-go from me, dog.
Oh,
I'm gonna be sitting on
okay.
a couch. Yeah, I'm gonna be sitting on my couch, living the dream, nice and quiet. Do what I want, play what I want. I'm just kidding. How you doing this evening, Eric?
Doing good, man. Striving and thriving, baby. I'm actually hyped to be visiting Luigi tomorrow, bro. Boys weekend. Let's go.
I'm pretty hyped.
It's gonna be legendary, dude. The boys are back in town, back in Texas. It's gonna be great, dude.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later too.
All right, so who was that?
No, I'm just singing the song that Luigi was singing. Go ahead.
Get out of here with this nonsense. All right, so year in review, we have the 9 categories. We're calling them the roomies. We have the roomies to hand out as always. And we did a little different this year. We have our 9 categories. Everyone in the 303 sphere has provided a list. So Nick, Nevada, Luigi, Jason, Eric, and myself have all provided inputs. So there's a total of 60 points that could be awarded to the number 1 movie of the year. And they're listed 1 through 10. And if you're the number 1 movie, you get 10 points. If you're the number 10 movie, you get 1 point. And you take an aggregate from the 6 individuals, and then you get this one master list. So that's actually how we ended up with the list that we have here for film. So if you're joining us on YouTube, first of all, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe. But we're doing movies here. And so I'll just go through the top 10 with the number of points they got out of 60, and then we can discuss from there. So number 1 movie coming in for 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with 36 points. And you know what? I probably should have done 10-1, but it's already on YouTube, so it doesn't matter. Number 2 is Oppenheimer, 33 points. Number 3 is The Covenant, 31 points. Number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, 26 points. Tied for 5th, we have Barbie and Super Mario Brothers, the movie, at 20 points. Coming in at 7th, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with 16 points. Tied for 8th, you have Equalizer 3 and Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes with 14 points. And coming in at number 10, you have Whale at 10 points. So some of you may be saying, well, Whale came out in 2022. Yeah, it came out December 21st of 2022. So that still fell in the criteria that I was kind of going with. So if it's December to December. As we're recording right now, what is it? December 19th. So, Aquaman may shoot up everyone's list, he said jokingly. You never know. But so without further ado, what are your thoughts on this list? We'll start with you, Jason.
Kind of surprised with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being so low, in my opinion, at number 7.
Yeah, only two of the 6 actually voted for this one. So
okay, yeah, well that makes sense. I know. Take into account some of the movies that we didn't see. I didn't see a lot of the movies that are on this list, as you guys can see. Well, you might not have seen, but yeah, I'm not surprised that Spider-Man was number 1. The only thing that I get, like my only down thing on that one is left us on a major cliffhanger. The biggest blue balls that we have seen in theater so far, next to Infinity War, and they left us on a hanger and left us talking about it. We're like, are you fucking serious? Oppenheimer. I know you have your thoughts on it, but I thought it was a great film. I thought it was. I wouldn't say it's his magnum opus like some of our friends would say, but I thought it was definitely Christopher Nolan just keeps improving on his cinematography and just working with his actors. And it looks like honestly, I liked every performance from all those actors. But yeah, definitely Spider-Man, top of the list for me. That was my number one, and I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, I agree. I think Spider-Man. I'm not surprised Spider-Man's here. Everyone voted for it. These Spider-Man movies are largely acclaimed, which is ironic when it comes to Sony and their Marvel products. So, Luigi, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, personally, as a big Spider-Man fan, I think it's the best Spider-Man movie, live action or cartoon, that has been made. It also brings comic art to life in a way that I've never seen before. I mean, everyone's copying it now, right? Even Disney with Wish is trying to copy the canvas art or any kind of painting art to the screen with 3D animation as well. And just they keep surprising us, and they keep doing great things with the artwork, the storyline. I think they made everybody fall in love with Miles Morales more than they already liked him, at least more than the comic readers already liked him. So now Miles Morales is like a household name at this point because of those movies. So that's pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed this movie. It was my number one as well.
All right, Eric, and your thoughts? Any thoughts? Not just number one, but on the overall list.
Yeah, no. So, solid list. Me and you, surprisingly, we pretty much see everything that comes out if we miss a movie here or there. So we've seen the majority of this list, and I like it. A couple question marks. I don't genuinely believe that anybody on this list. You know what? I'm not going to start a slander. I just think Barbie's way higher than it should be. And then I also think Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. For it to be at 8th with only 14 points, people must have just not seen it. That's what it has to be, because it was one of the best movies of the year. It was freaking phenomenal. And then I just want to touch on something Luigi said about Miles Morales and the lore is starting to grow and people are starting to love him. And we'll talk about this a little bit later as well, possibly. But even in the video games, he's a badass, right? Even in the video games, the Spider-Man, the video games, he's fun to play with. They really are growing that character. I agree with everything. It's number 2 for me. Covenant is my favorite movie of the year. It's not anything that I've seen Guy Ritchie do. He made a movie in a completely different fashion than he traditionally does. He rushed the end. That's been the biggest critique of that movie. But had he not rushed the end of that movie, it might have been a top 10 movie all time for me. So, Mission Impossible, legendary scenes in that movie. Nimona, Luigi, that's on your list. Nobody else has that. What is that?
It's another animated flick, very much in the style of Netflix's new style that they did with Arcane, Blue Eye Samurai. It's like 3D also meets animation. It looks a little different from what Spider-Verse looks like, but it's about this girl who can turn into different creatures. And I mean, it's a kids movie, so it's about bullying and depression too. But It's just a really good story to follow, and it's definitely outcast. She's got her own style. She's not the conventional. I'd say not the conventional girly girl female lead.
Okay.
She is definitely got some rough edges, and she's fun to watch. My daughter loved it. It was a good kids movie to watch. I wasn't annoyed watching it. I'd watch it again.
Nice. Yeah. I was just curious because it made your list. It was nobody else's list. So I wanted to, I'm just curious about it. I'll definitely peep it and check it out. But that's one of the few on this list that I haven't seen. That and The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I just don't do horror movies, so. Yeah.
It's vampires, dude. Vampires aren't horror.
Horror, okay? You could die from a vampire. It's a horror movie.
I'm sure you watch.
You could die in Speed 2. Is that a horror movie?
No, dude, I can survive a bus crash.
You could survive a boat exploding.
Yeah, 100%. I can't survive a vampire. I'm fucked. I'm cooked, dude.
There's so many ways to beat a vampire,
Garlic,
but
silver,
you
and a
can
cross,
walk
right?
away from a massive bus crash, explosion.
Yeah.
There's bombs rigged on it. Like you can walk away from that, but
Like,
vampires, you have no shot.
No shot, dude. Unless I walk outside in the sunlight.
So you
I'll
have
take
a
my
shot.
chances.
So I'm on the list of things I'm not worried about a vampire. I would be more worried of werewolves than vampires, personally.
Nah, I'm one with the wolves, dude. I'm I speak their language.
All right.
What is happening?
Wolves hunt in packs, and you seem like a very lone wolf yourself.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I can't do anything by myself, Jason. What are you talking about?
You like to
Whale.
be a lone wolf, you know what I'm saying?
Have you guys all seen Whale?
Yeah.
I'm changing this one.
Oh, Whale,
We've gone off the deep end on that one.
With our boy, what's his name?
Brendan Fraser?
Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
The Mummy, dude.
Yeah, The Mummy. I still want to see it. I haven't seen it. I hear nothing but great things about it, though. Our girl, homeboy, Sydney, what's her name? Sydney something. She plays Max in Stranger Things.
Yeah, I mean she's the daughter in it. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
know
she's the daughter. Yeah. I heard she did a great job in her performance as well.
Yeah, everyone in that movie acted their asses off, which is funny. Those December movies always end up getting left off these lists because of when they're created. Like it would have been on my list last year, and I'm not even sure.
One movie that I'm excited for that's coming up is The Iron Claw. I'm so pumped for it. I'm gonna go see it this weekend. It might have been on this list. If hopefully it's as good as everyone's saying right now, critics. But I'm so excited for that, for The Iron Claw. That wrestling movie with Kevin Von Erich, the Kevin Von Erichs. Is that
dude, I want to see that movie so badly. And we had a chance to see an early screening of it. And I fucked it up. I dropped the ball, dude. I'm so mad at myself because I want to see that movie so badly.
With Zac Efron and the main actor from The Bear, I forget his name.
I just call him White. I know it's not even his name.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
His name is Lip. Any Shameless fans?
Yeah.
No?
Oh, no, yeah, but I hear that like a lot of women love him in Shameless, so that's funny you say that.
That's definitely, if you haven't seen it, a binge. Just go back and binge it show. It's a great show.
I got into like season 9 or 10 or something, and it started getting like, I probably should have ended this, but it was a really good show.
Yeah.
It's like Dexter. Dexter was fantastic, but overstayed its welcome. So
It did, and I like that they redid it a few years back. One more season, and it was a way better ending than the way they ended it the first time.
I guess I'm gonna have to watch that too.
This new season of Dexter?
Yeah, they ended it way better than they did the first time.
And it's over again?
Yeah. There's not going to be another.
Yeah, trust me, bro. It's finished.
It's over.
Anything else on this list? What is the wonderful story of Henry Sugar?
So it's a Roald Dahl short story that got made by Wes Anderson on Netflix. He did a bunch of like shorts of Roald Dahl short stories, and he did short films. And I watched that one, and it's just really you've seen Wes Anderson stuff. Like he's made his movies to a craft, his craft to a point where it is mesmerizing to watch. And he didn't write it, so it makes a little more sense. Not to hate on Wes Anderson. I saw Asteroid City, and I was like, this is a disjointed movie. Like he just cared about making it look cool. But the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, it all pulls together because the writing is already there. I would definitely advise it. It's only like 37 minutes. I would definitely advise a watch. It's a quick watch.
Bro, I do want to shout out Cocaine Bear. Was not expecting it for it to be that entertaining. It gave you what you wanted. You know, you saw the trailers and you're just like, all right, this bear's gonna fuck some shit up. He's doing some cocaine, and it did not disappoint. I just want to shout that one out, and also Mario Bros. I know it's kind of overhyped and stuff like that, but it was very surprising to me personally. And it's kind of nice that Nintendo's kind of going into the movie industry, kind of trying to compete with Disney. The same thing with Barbie. I know we didn't like it, but Mattel's trying to get into the movie industry now too. So it's like, all right, Disney, step up your shit, and other like big companies, right, as far as their product goes. Kind of really like, all right, we gotta really actually try with these movies. So hopefully we just get some better quality stuff. So I think that's why I kind of liked Mario Brothers. I'm kind of excited. They played a lot of homage to a lot of the video games growing up in the 90s. So I loved it. So shout out to those movies.
I just want to say, I'm like probably the lone opinion here. I feel like Mario actually should have gone a little bit lower. Not too much, but I think Mutant Mayhem is better than Mario. It's interesting how the points played out. I do like Barbie. I think I'm the only one in this panel that liked Barbie. So I'm good with that one.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay. And I do wish more people had put Godzilla -1 on that list. I thought that movie was fantastic. I was sitting in it, and I've told multiple people this. Like, I was sitting watching the movie, and I was like, am I about to cry in a Godzilla movie? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? I should not be willing to cry in a Godzilla movie.
I thought it was good. I felt it was overacted in parts where they wanted it to feel more dramatic. And then also the first word in the name of the movie says Godzilla. And Godzilla shows up in the movie for like 10 minutes. So, I mean, not saying the movie's bad, but you just use Godzilla in name only. So I thought it was a good movie, though. I agree. I thought it was really good. Just watched that the other day.
Yeah, it was a really good metaphor for the bomb and the after effects. I was like, dang, y'all made. I know that's what the original meaning of Godzilla was supposed to be, but they did a good job of reminding us of that one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one thing that I thought they did a good job with that. And it felt much more traditional to the older Godzillas, which was fire. But I think the new Godzillas that they're making over here with Legendary are getting too much hate. I love the lore that they're building on with the underwater temples and all that stuff and the kaijus. I think it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
I would agree. I think my only issue with those is a little bit of the writing, but I do like the world building and I like the character designs. I do like that.
Yeah, I will say like you haven't cared for any of the human characters in those movies. So they really kind of dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
So has anyone seen this movie Reptile with Benicio del Toro, Justin Timberlake, and Alicia Silverstone?
I started it and I fell asleep.
So it's on Netflix, and Nevada has seen it, and it's number 10 on his top 10 list. So I just wanted to spotlight that one because I haven't seen it. And Grant Singer directed it. Benicio del Toro helped write it with Grant Singer.
I want to see that movie. We've had it on our list for quite a while now. I'm just like, we got to get to it. You got to get to it for sure now that's on the top for 2023. What was that, Jaybird?
He made me watch that one movie with Julia Roberts and Kevin Bacon and Mahershala Ali.
Leave the world behind. Leave the world behind.
Yeah. And people have been talking about it online, bro. And honestly, I don't see the hype for it. Jamie liked it. I didn't. I thought it was like The
Happening. Jesus,
yes, it's like The Happening, bro. And honestly, in The Happening, more stuff happened.
Jaybird, I read an article on that movie, and one of the things that it said about that movie is that it's supposed to be something that generates conversation as far as social media and entertainment's place in our society.
Oh,
and so not necessarily the greatest movie, but when they were writing it to speak specifically about what they think is probably our biggest societal issue right now, which is society is dominated by entertainment and living in a fantasy land, and everybody wants to be like this person on TV and shit. So I haven't seen it yet, but that article did interest me and make me want to watch it more. But I have heard a lot of it's slow, and it kind of the ending is kind of it just happens, like it just comes out of nowhere and happens. So I get that there's a lot of hate on it, but I'm interested in to see what it is, because I do want to see what I just want to see how I interpret it and what I perceive from it, given on what they said they were trying to portray in the movie. I want to see what I take away from it.
Oh yeah, no, I totally understand that, and like the symbolism and all that stuff. But there's like moments where like what happens at the end, and like you kind of figure out what happened, doesn't make sense as to what happens in some parts of the movie. Is like, how does this happen because of that? Like,
yeah,
maybe I don't know. Maybe these animals understand a lot more than we do. It's just so you definitely have to interpret it some way. But honestly, I think it could have just been done a little bit better. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've set our piece on the top 10 movies, and for those of you who want to see the full list, there's 31 unique entries for the movies this year. Follow us on YouTube. You can check this out. Last thing I want to do is just give a little plot for Reptile, then we'll move on. So Tom Nichols is a hardened New England detective, unflinching in his pursuit of a case where nothing is as it seems, and it begins to dismantle the illusions in his own life. You imagine getting paid to write that? That'd be so fire. Let's move on to television shows. All right, so for this television show, for those of you not watching on YouTube, I'll go ahead and start from 10th and then move on up. So tied for 10th, you have The Morning Show and Painkiller. Tied for 9th, you have Invincible, One Piece, and Reacher. Tied for 8th, you have Reservation Dogs, The Continental, Fall of the House of Usher. Tied for 7th, you have Monarch and Silo. Tied for 6th, you have Succession. What season of Succession?
4.
Season
4. 5, you have Gen V season 1. 4, you have Loki season 2. 3, you have Beef, the miniseries on Netflix. 2, you have Last of Us. This is season 1 only, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
And then Bear season 2 came in as the resounding winner with 46 points. Thoughts on this? Let's start with you, Eric.
Thoughts. The Bear was definitely, throughout various group chats with the homies, it seemed like this was going to be in the top 5 for most people. It's the highest point getter out of any category that we have. Great show. I'm sure I'll let everybody else talk about it, but it is a great show. Last of Us. But I want to talk about, for me personally, something that I don't think is getting a lot of love or enough love lately is Apple TV Plus. So on my list, so all the Apple TV shows that are on here, right? So Monarch tied at 7th, Silo tied at 7th. The Morning Show tied at 10th, and then further on down we have For All Mankind,
Severance,
Slow Horses, and Invasion should be on there somewhere. Invasion. Apple TV is killing it. Silo is by far my favorite show of the year. Bear was second for me. I love Silo. I love the books. I think they did a great job, from what was in the books to putting it on screen. I think they did a great job with the cast. Tim Robbins is in it. There's a lot of people. It's a lot of those actors where you don't know their name outside of Tim Robbins because it's Tim freaking Robbins. But as soon as you see him, you'll recognize him. And just great show. It's about a community that after there's like a nuclear attack or something that happens on Earth, and people can't breathe the air, so they all move into the silo. They take away any artifacts from the past. They try to erase the history. They don't want people knowing about the outside. And then sure enough, people start discovering the truth, and there's a whole plot and a whole conspiracy, and just a phenomenal show. Number 1 for me. I'm sad. It's sad it dropped all the way down to 7th, but I mean, you can't really argue with The Bear, Last of Us, Beef. I thought Beef would even be higher than maybe Last of Us because so many people love that show. But solid list. Definitely, if you haven't seen stuff on this list, go check it out. Apple TV Plus. If you don't have a subscription, it might be worth getting it. Plus, you can watch MLS on it if you're a football fan. But definitely, if there's anything you take away from this, is watch Silo. It was the best show of the year, in my opinion.
Eric, I do have a quick question. What is Silo about?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna stab you.
All right, I was looking up some other stuff real quick because you were like Silo. Let me search this up. So you already said that. My bad.
I did say what it is. You motherfucking twat. And ladies and gentlemen, he's full of shit. If you're not on YouTube, you can't see the giant smile on his face. He was listening.
I am listening, but I was also looking up some stuff real quick, so that's my fault, bro.
I'll just send you the trailer in the text chats, bro.
All right, sounds good. I'll look it up right now myself. So thank you.
I do want to plug Apple TV Plus as well. Like Ted Lasso just ended, but I see Ted Lasso's on there. It's just they don't have a ton of content, but most of the content that they have has great actors, good writing. I mean, they've thrown some money into this streaming service. I would highly recommend, if you have not seen it, Severance was a fantastic watch. For All Mankind, it's in season 4 at this point. I'm enjoying Severance a lot. Monarch, I've enjoyed not as much as the other two, but I have enjoyed it. It's a fun watch. It's like going to watch a Godzilla movie. You know what I mean? It's a fun watch. So, yeah, I agree with you, Eric. They've got some amazing stuff. I wanted to plug Shrinking. I really want to see that Jason Segel, Harrison Ford show as well.
Yeah, it's in the queue, but there's just so much. It's funny because with Apple TV, like with Hulu, you spend hours going through and trying to find stuff. With Netflix, but it's like almost everything on Apple TV, if you just give it a shot, you'll like it. Like they have that Lakeith Stanfield show, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this, but it's the Changeling or the Changeling.
No, you said it right the first time.
Changeling. Okay, so they have the Changeling. Looks freaking phenomenal. Monarch, Godzilla stuff, awesome. But they also have and I know everybody hates her. What's the lady from the Marvels? Brie
Larson.
Brie Larson. She has a show on Apple TV that's getting amazing reviews. And lastly, something at work that all the girls talk about. I won't ever watch it, but The Buccaneers. Girls love that show. I don't know. I've never even watched the trailer for it. I see it on Apple TV. It's highly rated, but it's like about some American girls that go to Britain or go to the UK. I don't know. It's like it's a time period show, but honestly, everything on Apple TV has been excellent as far as what I've seen so far.
Lessons in Chemistry, by the way.
Lessons in Chemistry. Thank you.
Allison Brie one.
Yeah.
It does look good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Apple TV just turns me off for some reason. I don't know what it is. I was just talking about it the other day, and I was like, there's no explanation for it, but every time I'm on Apple TV, I don't want to click on any of their stuff. I don't know. I don't know what it is at all. Let's see. Jason, you want to give us your thoughts on this list?
Yeah. Well, my number one show was Beef. I absolutely love the show. It was. I was talking to you, Jermaine, earlier. My 1 through 7 is pretty much interchangeable. I was having a really tough time, like what should be my number one. I ended up going with Beef only because it just kind of every episode. I ended up binge watching it. Well, we didn't end up binge watching it. It took us 2 days to watch all the episodes. But it felt like very Atlanta vibe, and just like very deep meaning to each episode, and within each character. And it kind of just shows like everyone's going through something. And within those moments of like a simple road rage, it kind of builds up to certain different things. So it's just like it could happen to anybody. You don't know what these people are going through these situations. So maybe someone's having an off day and you're having an off day, and then you bump into each other, and then all of a sudden you want to kill each other. Doesn't go to that point, but like it's just very, very intense. Another show that I was really impressed with too was also Swarm. I think it was directed and produced by Childish Gambino. One of the two. It could be one of the two. I can't remember. But another show where I feel like it's very Atlanta-ish, but it just kind of shows a side of like how obsessive someone can be over like a musician. And it's just like obsessions with everything. In every episode, like the main character, her hair changes. So like it kind of just shows like her like evolvement of like how crazy she starts getting. Billie Eilish shows up in 1 and 2 of the episodes, and for her first acting gig, amazing job, dude. I was blown away. So those shows were amazing. Ted Lasso, honestly, man, I binge watched Ted Lasso this year. So season 1 through 3 was all kind of like one for me. So I had to put it up there just because it was just a feel good movie show. Sorry, not movie. Yeah, Jason Sudeikis and all the other characters, I just like loved every single one of them. Even Nate the Great, you loved him at first, hated him, and then loved him again. It's just I don't know, just some things that you want in a show. Another one that was pretty surprising to me was based on a true story. I think Jermaine, you recommended that one to me. People that are obsessed with a murder podcast, I'm one of them. I love murder podcasts, and just kind of like making fun of it, but like making a killer a part of it. It was hilarious, dude. And also Winning Time season 2 was great for me, just because I'm a Lakers fan, and it's just like the story of Magic Johnson and like him in the Showtime area. But also what I really loved about season 2 this year was they also followed along with Larry Bird's story. I had no idea that his father killed himself and stuff like that. So you kind of show like not like the side of Larry Bird and how different Magic was from Larry Bird and how they ended up started to become friends at the end. They canceled it. They're not going to renew season 3, which is unfortunate because I could see where it was building. John C. Reilly did an amazing performance. The character that played Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, both amazing. Jason Segel as the coach that ends up getting fired, where Pat Riley takes over, played by Adrian Brody, was amazing. Even the daughter, played by I forgot her name, but they were all amazing, and like the style of it was just absolutely amazing, bro. So I just wanted to highlight some of those shows, but The Bear season 2 was fucking amazing. Invincible season 2 blew me away. It's just great writing. Every character, to me personally, like even the side characters all have an arc, which is amazing. You hardly see that in a lot of the shows, where I recommend Invincible season 2 is just every single character. Yeah, something happens, but they're going to tie into the story somehow, which is awesome. Gen V, I think, is a better version of The Boys, in my opinion. Every character, I think, is just, again, building their arc in their own way. And also you kind of get The Boys, and it's kind of like a season 3.5 for The Boys, which is nice. And Succession, I watched Succession all seasons 1 through 4. Amazing. I love the way they ended it. I love who ended up being the successor at the end. There's a lot of characters that I hated, but I loved, which is nice. In shows, you have to hate some characters. You know, I don't know. You can't just love all the characters because you're like, you want to root for them, but you can't. But yeah, that's just a quick overview for me.
My man's went through every.
Yeah, I had to, bro. I had to. I'm sorry. I just love the shows this year. 2023.
Tell me you watch a lot of television without telling me you watch a lot of television. What were you going to say on this, Luigi?
I was going to say you don't like anybody on that show. That's almost no one, especially none of the family. Like
it's a roller coaster. At one point you hate everybody. At one point you kind of love everybody. But the overall theme for the show is I can't stand these people.
I watched like the first 6 episodes and I understand the hype. I can't answer why I haven't gone back and watched the rest of the show, though. I don't. There's something going on with me. I don't know why, but I think it's fitting that they canceled Winning Time, though, Jason, because they ended it on a Celtics championship, and it really warms my heart that they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really fucking silenced me.
You troll, man.
So I want to spotlight one show since Jason pretty much talked about all of them. But Twisted Metal with Anthony Mackie on Peacock. On Peacock. Look, you're not going to that show to win awards, right? You're not trying to get Emmys or anything like that. But the tone, the humor, the audacity of the kills, and just the overall writing of that whole script, and then the lead into the next season, they did a fantastic job with a cult classic childhood video game. And I honestly can't wait to see where it goes from here. I was concerned that it was going to suck, like it was going to be too cheesy, too campy. It's the perfect amount of cheesy and campy because it fits so well with what they're doing to it. And Anthony Mackie, the guy who always looks like he knows something, right? He always knows the secret. Anthony Mackie is the perfect casting for John Doe in this show. Just his smile, his demeanor, the way he just banters with everyone. It's very much Spider-Man-esque quipping. So I will say you should definitely check that out there. Does anyone else want to touch on any of these movies or shows?
I wanted to highlight on a couple. First off, way to make a spin-off limited series that could be several movies with the Continental. Again, Peacock, shout out to you. Like, that was really well made. The action in it was fantastic. I enjoyed the characters. I was suddenly really invested in all of these people. And it was, I mean, it's a bit of a watch. It's like 2 hours, and what is it, 3 episodes, 2 hours, right?
No, so each episode is about an hour and some change. So each episode is essentially a 90s movie, right? When movies were a reasonable length of time, they used to be 80 to 100 minutes. You knew what you were in for. You didn't have to plan your whole goddamn evening around it. Yeah, that's what this Continental is. It's 3 parts of like 80s to 90s, like 80-minute movies is kind of how it is.
And it has some grit, man. I mean, I like what they did with it. I did want to shout out the only anime on this list, I think.
Nah, Scavenger's Reign is on there as well.
Oh, Scavenger. Okay. I did not know what that one was, so fair enough. But Blue-Eyed Samurai has one of the best fight sequences I've seen in a show. I would highly recommend y'all watch that show. That it's like Kill Bill meets anime, which is not too far off, right? Like all of those old school kung fu shows definitely.
Kill Bill meets Kill
anime.
Bill.
Kill Bill meets. But yeah, it was definitely a Kill Bill type of film type of show, and it was that was one of the funnest shows I've watched this year. That one, I really enjoyed Beef. I ran through Beef very recently. Shout out to Jason for watching it when it actually came out, like in March, because I've been saying I wanted to watch it for several months and I just never got around to it. That show, the things they do with the writing in that show and the situations, it's very nuanced. The way they show that one decision can affect so many people and change their actions, whether or not they are a good or a bad person. It will change their actions and your perception of them because of what they have to do or what they think they have to do in order to survive. I thought that was one of the more interesting aspects of Beef.
I do want to watch it. I wanted to check it out. I just haven't done it. But just to spotlight Scavenger's Reign. So Scavenger's Reign is an HBO Max, or actually, sorry, I didn't mean a dead name. It's a Max original anime. So it's a 12-part anime series, and it's follows a damaged cargo ship landing on a planet with tons of like flora and fauna, right, running around, and all the shit's dangerous. There's 3 groups that end up intersecting together and over those 12 episodes. It is gorgeous to look at, and the story itself is fantastic. The reception to it as well, like the acclaim. I think it has like a 100% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and then it's like an 8.7 out of 10 as well. This anime is fantastic. You can get on the ground level. It's 12 episodes. I've been watching a ton of anime lately, so this is one that I highly recommend. There's also Netflix keeps churning them out as well. But if we have nothing else for shows, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next category, which is video games, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we'll get into video games. Similar to the last read-off, we'll go 10-1. I think we only had 11 or 12 unique submissions on this list. My group of friends likes to call themselves gamers, and then when you ask them to play games, they say, nah, but we'll play Halo. And so they try to get Halo on this list. I call it shenanigans, and so here we are. We'll go ahead and start at the bottom. Coming in at number 10, we have Remnant 2 with 1 point. Coming in at 9, we have Armored Core 6 for 2 points. Then we have at 8, Super Mario RPG with 3 points. 7, Super Mario Wonder with 4 points. Final Fantasy 16 with 6 points. Hogwarts Legacy with 7 points at 5. Tied for 4th, you have Diablo 4. Seems pretty fitting. And Marvel Spider-Man 2 with 9 points. At number 3, you have tied on some shenanigans, Tears of the Kingdom and Party Animals. Both Game of the Year nominees. I'm just talking crap. You have number 2, Starfield at 15 points. And then at number 1, with a double-digit blowout, you have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, 27 points. We'll turn it over to Eric, who's probably the second biggest gamer on this chat right now.
Well, I have played 5 of the games on here, and I will say all solid. But for me, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, outside of the one thing that I couldn't beat, probably one of the best games I've ever played. I was not a gamer growing up. I had every system. I tended to only play sports games, and I'm hella competitive, and I don't lose well. I don't lose well at all. So I never really got fully into games, especially ones that were challenging, because I refuse to just lose at things. So I'd rather not do it than lose. But, moving out here with Jermaine, living here, being around it, starting to be exposed to it more and playing more. I got lost in some games, dude. Spider-Man 2 or Marvel Spider-Man 2 is 4th on this list. I didn't put it on because I didn't play that one. Had I had a chance to play that one this year, because I played the first one and I played Miles Morales, that one would have been higher for sure, because I would have definitely had it probably second on my list, because I loved the first game. And Miles Morales, I think I beat them both in a week, Jermaine, right? Something like that.
In the week leading up to Marvel Spider-Man 2's release, Eric decided, I got to play the other games, and sat there and knocked out both fully fledged created games. 2 games that they spent hours on. Eric went and got every little knick-knack and beat every story quest you could on Spider-Man. My man was sucked in.
The games are fire, and I can't wait to play the second one. I definitely will be playing it once we cop it. Hogwarts Legacy, awesome game. I didn't 100% it because it got repetitive as fuck, but before it got super repetitive, it was a really fun game. I watched Jermaine play Final Fantasy 16. Every time I watch you play one of those games, man, I tell myself I gotta start playing fucking Final Fantasy. It just looks so cool, man, and just that style of game has been growing on me. And then I've watched him play the Mario games on the the Switch. Those look fun as hell. But the ones I can speak to, Jedi Survivor, man, phenomenal game, phenomenal graphics. Not the easiest game in the world to beat. You're gonna get challenged, right? Unless you put it all the way down to the bottom, which I refuse to do, because I'm trying to challenge myself more when it comes to video games. Like, I don't change the user settings and shit anymore. So,
good.
Yeah, I'm done with that. But Star Wars Jedi Survivor, if you play any game this year, definitely play that. Diablo 4, fun for a group of friends. Marvel Spider-Man 2, I will be beating that as soon as we get it. And then Remnant 2 was fun, but again, similar to games like that, they just get repetitive and old after a while, and you just can't keep. Diablo 4 got repetitive, and they release new seasons, but it's the same shit with, they just change the names on some stuff and add some color to this axe and make it to look different. So,
But, that's what Endgame is now. It's all about, farming, min-maxing gear, and people love to get sucked into that. I get sucked in for a little bit, but I just can't put the hours in like people. I'm like, yo, how the fuck do you guys do everything else? Like, get haircuts and wipe your ass. Like, how you doing? How you doing all that?
I had a question.
Go ahead.
So Armored Core 6, is that the same Armored Core that was like?
Yes.
How is it? I literally I have very vivid memories of playing like the versus mode on the PlayStation when they gave it. You know how it came with the PlayStation? I was like, what? There's a new one? I need to hear about this game.
It's so sick, bro. Like, it's awesome because it's you're fighting robots against your buddy, right? So it's essentially it's sort of like Halo, right? But you guys have mecha suits, and then you're fighting each other in battle royale style combat or team battle or whatever. Armored Core. Look, if you're a Gundam Wing fan, if you're a Transformers fan, if you like big robots with guns and that blow shit up, like Armored Core 6 is for you. I was actually caught off guard that this was even a game that was coming out. It just dropped, and then PlayStation was like, "Hey, would you like Armored Core 6 like as one of your free games?" And so I downloaded it as one of my free games, and it's so freaking good. Like, it's so good. It made my list for a reason. I mean, came in at the bottom because this year was so, inundated with video games. There's games that I didn't even play that probably should be on this list, like Baldur's Gate 3. I'm actually going to download after this. Baldur's Gate 3 is a Dungeons and Dragons based video game, right? So Baldur's Gate, like the actual stories are based off Dungeons and Dragons. And so you can run around with a team of people trying to complete these missions and stuff. So, people played other stuff. I could probably get them into it. We play some Baldur's Gate 3 and run around, be elves and shit. But no, it's fire. We'd be remiss if we didn't touch on Starfield. Right, Starfield was the big Bethesda release, and honestly, it lived up to the hype that it generated itself. Unfortunately, the hype machine may have gotten too carried away, so when it was delivered, people were like, "Oh, this, all that," and I'm like, "How can you be nitpicking this and that when you have all of this?" You turn over here, you have 98% of all this awesomeness, and then people are like, "This 2% over here is and it's made the game terrible. It's no good." And I'm like, bro, it's so sick. You can, like, the stories are awesome. The world building, they are awesome. They have these, I forget what they're called, but they're like this alien species that's super invasive and feeds off humans. And they can't figure out how they spawn, but every time a new human colony comes, this thing spawns on that planet and destroys it. They lost New London. Like, they had to bomb the entire planet and just sacrifice it altogether. Like, Starfield was so sick. Like, I can't get over how good that was. Hogwarts Legacy, I think because it came out so early in the year, everyone forgot about it. But Hogwarts Legacy had a moment. For like 3 months, that was like the only thing anyone was talking about because it was so freaking good. With all the trans BS aside, right? All that dumb shit aside that everyone tried to bomb this game with. And I'm like, if you don't want to play it because of that, then don't play it. But don't, everyone else is going to play it and have a good ass time. Relax. It's just a video game. And it was awesome. They captured the world of Harry Potter flawlessly. And they should be making a second part to that. I can't see that. They made so much money off that. I can't see how they don't make it any better. Also, flying on the broom was outstanding. It was just like you could just fly it forever.
Dude,
Go ahead.
That
Luigi. Game made non-gamers want to play video games.
Yeah, true. Speaking of flying, the flying on the brooms was dope in Hogwarts Legacy, but fucking the whole reason I didn't play Starfield, you do the intro, you set up your character, you're on that first planet, and then you got to jump on the ship and you got to bounce out. And I tried to fly the ship, and it went south for me real quick, and I said, I'm done with this game. I can never play this game again. I fucking can't do it, bro. And then I tried to play, what game was it? The No
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. The people who created that game have another game coming out next year or in 2025, one of the two. It looks amazing. The world looks phenomenal. So I was like, let me go play their old shit. Again, jumped in the spaceship, tried to fly. I was like, nope. So me and flying games, it's not something that's.
He doesn't even try to get better though. Like, he doesn't even try. And then he had the audacity to get mad at that flying game. And they'd be like, man, what would be really sick is if they made a Star Wars flying game. And I was like, I have that Star Wars flying game. And if you think that game is hard as shit to fly, do not try this. Jason, you tried Squadrons?
Yes, it's so fucking hard, bro. I gave up. I was like, nah, I'm not doing this shit.
Yo, Jaybird, let's hop into it. Try to get real good at it, dude. It's super difficult.
Yeah, I'm good.
But I feel like you can become very awesome at flying. Like, but you just have to put in the work to get better. It's like Super Smash Bros, right? Like Super Smash Bros, because of the complexity, you have to pick it up and play a lot again to be good, right? Same thing with Halo. and I refuse to do it with Halo. But with Squadrons, I will learn. I played too much Halo in my life, so and also it makes me mad. No one else plays anything else. So when people invite me to Halo, it's on principle now. Never again. Fuck Halo. Although when we were running around drunk, blowing each other up, that was pretty fun.
That was dope.
It's always fun.
Super Mario RPG. Just want to spotlight this one. I couldn't beat this video game as a kid. I got to this one part and my characters weren't leveled up enough. So it's Super Mario, but it's a JRPG. So if you know what that means, it's a Japanese role-playing game. It has that turn-based style system that their RPGs are super familiar with. I got to a point, couldn't beat this game. They remade, kind of revamped that game for the Nintendo Switch. And I usually try not to spend money on a game I played before, but I was like, it's fucking redemption season, baby. I was like, I'm getting that win. I'm getting that win.
And now we've bought
I'm a grown-ass man now.
Because he keeps breaking them because he can't beat that game.
Yeah, all right. I've never broken a controller in my life.
Mhm.
That is gospel. My older brother, on the other hand, he has broken many a good controllers.
No,
You remember?
Sorry, Jermaine. Thank you. I want to thank you right now because I used to live with Eric, and I used to watch him play video games, and he used to piss me the fuck off because he would put it like on the easiest fucking modes ever. I'm like, bro, how are you challenging yourself? He's like, I just want to get my character to the highest points, and it was mostly FIFA for like seasons and stuff. But I was like, dude, how are you enjoying that at all? Like, that's not fun. Like, but do we do this to ourselves? Like, make it difficult for us? We're like, you know, like create that tension. I don't know, man.
A win is satisfying if you earn it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody's like thrilled after a 70-point blowout.
Yeah, dude, shut up. But no, thank you for like letting, like, he started, like, I see him now. He's like more into games now, probably more than I am. Definitely played more video games than I did. But it's kind of nice to see he's challenging himself. Did Jedi Survivor? I think you did 100% of it, right? And some other games.
There was only two things that I needed Jermaine to help me with.
That's insane, bro. That's absolutely insane. Not a lot of people complete that game 100%.
I'm not ashamed to admit I needed help. It was one of those, you go into the force. It's like you touch the little force thing, and then you got to do the mazes. Remember the one with the rings where you had to like jump to the other ring, and then the other the laser thing was coming back at you, so you had to jump hella quick.
Yeah,
and I could never get that part down. So I went up to Jermaine and I was like, "Look, big fella, you're either gonna do this or you're gonna die." So he did it, and I 100% of the game. So thank you for that, Jermaine. Because I was surprised I 100% in Spider-Man because Jermaine will tell you the first like 10 minutes I played that swing, and dude, I was bumping into everything. I was falling to the ground. It was fucking
God, bro. So this is like with the flying thing with the spaceships. Eric just needs to get better. He is not any better at swinging as Spider-Man. And they have built-in fall protectors, right? So as long as you hit the button, like before shenanigans is afoot, your guy is gonna bounce right back. It's like almost, it's not dummy proof, but I mean it's damn near like once you know the buttons, like no shenanigans is happening. Holy fuck! When I tell you, he was literally swinging just above street level for like the first hour and a half because he just could not understand how to get Spider-Man up into the sky. And I'm like sitting there like, hit this, do this. Why? Like, he ended up getting really good at it because who was it? Electro or Vulture?
In the first one, it's Vulture.
Oh man, Eric he's fighting Vulture around the prison.
I kept bumping into shit, dude. I kept fucking dying because I kept fucking. It was bad, dude. Oh, and I'm not. Oh, dude. I love like Assassin's Creed and Hitman. My natural personality comes out in video games. I'm not a patient person. I can't do stealth games. And in Spider-Man, there's a lot of stuff you have to do stealth. You got to use the invisible suit. You got to web people up so you don't startle anybody. You got to be, dude. I fuck it, and I would just blaze through. But there's levels in Spider-Man where you can't alert anybody or you fail the level. And dude, with those, it took me time, dude. It got to the point where a level that probably take like 10, 15 minutes for normal people took like an hour and a half for me. Because I'd just be walking around. I would just wait until the perfect opportunity for it to be stealth. I was like, I got to get better at this, man.
Bro, Eric bought Hitman and played one level of it. And he was just like, I don't want to play that game. I'm not going to play it. They keep trying to get me to do stealth stuff. And I'm like, you're a hitman, my guy.
I'm used to like narco hitman where you just pull up to the quinceañera and spray everybody. You know what I mean?
Wow.
There's that.
Holy shit.
I don't know
with that.
Quinceañeras, man. They respect that. Sicarios respect that
Oh,
shit.
shit. Look up 2008 Juarez, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, anybody else got anything else for video games?
No, we're good. I think we're good.
Touched them all.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the very next category. It is podcasts. This one should be pretty simple and straightforward. Obviously, we'll start from the bottom again. So hardcore history got 6 points.
Luigi
was 15th. Tied for 13th, you had Flagrant and Art of Manliness with 7 points. Tied for 9th, you had All Fantasy Everything, The Tim Dillon Experience, Bulls Talk Podcast, and Spit Chicklets with 8 points. Tied for 6th, you had Soder, New Orleans Football, Real Ones with John Bernthal, Revenge of the Pod with 9 points. Yo, that's sad.
we shouldn't have
Look, the fact of the matter is some of us didn't put Room 303 or Revenge of the Pod because we thought it went without saying. So those are obviously our number 1 and number 2 podcasts. But because some people did, the points on this Revenge of the Pod got 9 points. That's it.
Hey, that's good points right there. Shout out Nick. I think he was on that.
And then tied for 3rd, you had Fantasy Footballers, Matt and Shane's Secret Pod, and Variant the Podcast. Coming in at number 2, you had New Heights with 19 points. Coming in at number 1, you had Room 303 with 20 points. Look, that's shenanigans. Shenanigans. It's Room 303 and Revenge of the Pod, 60 points. That goes without saying. You guys have anything for these podcasts?
I really like. Sorry, Eric. I really like New Heights, man. From last year, but I think they're just getting a little bit better with this year. Just kind of, they're really perfecting their craft and just really talk about like situations that are happening within each game. They really put themselves in. They talk about every game that happened that weekend. I just like everything that's going on with them. It's just they're on another level right now. Obviously, with the documentary that came out this year with Jason Kelsey, which was phenomenal. I know people were like, "Hey, it's kind of weird that he's putting a documentary out, even though hasn't retired yet." He was going to release this because he was going to retire, and he wasn't going to release this movie since he didn't retire. But his production team's like, we actually got something here, so they released that. I do recommend that documentary. I think it's called Kelsey on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Obviously, everything that's going on with Travis, and we don't want to get into that, but they're just doing great, man. And their show is very fun to listen to. They always bring in a lot of football players to bring in their perspective of things. Probably one of the best episodes was with the Julian Edelman and his impersonation of Coach Belichick, dude. Hilarious. And also he did an impersonation of Randy Moss. Absolutely fucking hilarious, dude. And they're just having fun with it. And like, that's kind of what you want from media, right? I mean, why do we listen to podcasts? We're tired of like listening to those media ESPN analysts just talking about certain things. We want to listen to like, what do these players feel during the field and outside of the field, and how do they relate to it? And they're just their opinion about things. And I think we're kind of growing into that. So I really do love New Heights for that. Fantasy Footballers, just because I love fantasy football. And yeah, man, I just wanted to highlight New Heights and why I like it so much. And I definitely voted for that one.
Luigi?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't listen to a whole lot of podcasts this year. I dropped the ball on that. I put Room 303 as my only podcast vote because I felt stupid voting for Revenge of the Pod since it's my own podcast. Looking back on it, maybe I should have voted for it.
At least number 2, you know what I mean?
You can't win if you don't vote for yourself. That's yeah. No, but I do appreciate someone put Hardcore History and Art of Manliness. Those are pretty dope. But I just did this year. I've not had a whole lot of time for podcasts. So
that's your excuse for everything. What have you done this year?
Listen.
You know when they preface it with "listen," another bunch of bullshit's coming.
I only have so much time in the day. I only have so much time in the day.
But yet you can't tell me what you do with said time. It's interesting.
Anytime before 8:30, I'm with Katya, and she ain't gonna listen to my podcasts. So
that's true. Gotta do what the little lady says, bro.
That's not true, bro. You hit play and be like, lost the remote. You're about to learn about the art of manliness, Katya.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
She's just gonna walk away, be like, nah, and then I'll find some crazy thing happening in the guest room or the bathroom. Be like, what did you put in the sink? No. Side note: as a child, I would think I was like 6 or 7 years old. I put all kinds of stuff in the sink. I wanted to be a mad scientist, so I got every bottle that was in the bathroom and I poured it in the sink with the cover down and tried to make a scientist concoction. I'm just glad nobody caught me. And then another time I flushed a toy down the toilet and I clogged that. So I'm just trying to avoid my daughter doing the same things. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
What did that toy do to you?
I wanted to see if it would swim. Like, it was good. I was like, can it make it go to the sewers?
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Smartness is not a kid's strength, you know?
That's how you learn. That's how you become smart. You know, you fuck some shit up and you're like, all right, let's don't do that again.
I must have been built in with that knowledge, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Never flushed no toys. Strapped fireworks to those motherfuckers though.
Oh, a couple times. Blew some shit up when I was a kid. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was usually toys I found in public sandboxes that were already I was just like, sure, why not? Batman didn't make it on time, dude. You know what I mean? The hero doesn't always win.
So he got blown to smithereens.
Real life.
Yeah, this is that real life shit, Batman. You remember that crowbar? You remember Jason Todd, that crowbar? Yeah, you dropped the ball. This is just that all over again. You suck.
You want me to send Bane to your house again, dog? You want me to send Bane?
As long as it's Spanish Bane, none of this Tom Hardy nonsense.
I break more than backs.
Goddamn. Goddamn.
Yo, Jay.
Just out of nowhere, I break more than backs, ho. Good God, Jason.
God damn.
Let him know, dude.
Yo,
let him know.
I've never thought porn stars should have catchphrases until right now. That was just
name. I break more than backs right under parentheses.
In every scene, like right before all the business starts, they just turn, I break more than backs. Just done.
She said, what is this motherfucker gonna do? Body slam me? I thought I was getting fucked today.
You literally hit the Bane on Batman backbreaker on that comic cover.
I would die laughing. Like some poor kid, getting ready to do his thing, turns on the video, the thumbnail gets him, turns it on, next 30 seconds into it, she's getting body slammed. Or whatever that move is on the knee, like that's fucking dude, I'd die laughing. I would die laughing.
Oh. All right, so that wraps up podcasts. That's going to go ahead and be the end of part 1. This is going to be coming out Christmas Day, so I appreciate you guys for tuning in, even on the holidays. We'll be having a nice 2-week break, but we'll still be dropping episodes for you to listen to. So this is part 1 of the 2023 year in review. You just heard movies, shows, podcasts, and video games, not in that order. Do you guys have anything else for the 10s and 10s?
Thank you all for listening. It was a great year. Shout out to the shows. Shout out to all the listeners. And listen to Room 303. We're going to be posting it on both platforms. So listen to us. Check us out on both. Give like and subscribe, especially on YouTube. Definitely helps us out. Appreciate you guys.
Luigi, Eric?
Well, appreciate you guys. With part 2 coming shortly.
Yep, part 2 next week. If you're listening to this the week of Christmas, if you're listening to it at the same time, then ignore this portion. This portion is no longer necessary for you. Don't forget to check us out on all your streaming platforms. Room 303 for myself and Eric's podcast. Revenge of the Pod by Room 303 for Luigi and Jason's. That's all things pop culture. You're going to do your shows, your movies, your TV shows, comic books, things like that. For your sports betting needs and what not to bet, you're going to be joining us on Room 303. We thank you for your time. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Podcast Room 303. Jaybird or Luigi, will you plug your ROTP socials? Do you know them?
Jason?
Yep, it's at Revenge. Wow. At Revenge of _ the pod on Instagram. And then, I think, it's pretty much the same on all Twitter handles and stuff. So
I don't think that is, but we're gonna go ahead and leave that off. All right. If we didn't already say that, Merry Christmas. Again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. We'll see you next time. For myself, Jermaine Colon Mendez. For Luigi Orozco of Revenge of the Pod. For Jason Escudero of Revenge of the Pod. And as always, with EPE. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.